Hello, friends. Happy day to you, whatever day you're watching this. Something that I wanted to talk about that has been coming up so much as more and more changes in the world, as people so seemingly become on two different sides of the coin. The gray area is kind of disappearing, I feel like, and people are obviously on one side or the other. And there's this idea that is honestly not a new idea, but it's this idea that, if people are not on the same page as you are with the revelations that you have, with your research, with what you know is happening in the world, or the way you think about things, then they're wrong and you can't talk to them and you can't be friends with them and you can't have a conversation with them. And I'm sorry, but I think that is an extreme cop-out and extremely lazy. You can, in fact, meet anyone, anywhere they're at. If you got this deep spiritual leader over here, and you got this guy on the other hand, 100% in the matrix, I bet you the spiritual leader over here would be able to talk to this guy still and form a conversation. Maybe not a long one, but would still be able to value that person and value what that person thinks about and has to say, and could meet them where they are on the level that they are at, without feeling like they're being held back or feeling like discouraged or being brought to their level, like down to their level vibrationally, whatever. Because in all honesty, it takes a whole lot of maturity and discernment to figure out where someone is at and be able to talk to them at their level in a human type of way. We are all humans here. We are all people. And if anything, you could talk about the weather. You could talk about gas prices. I mean, that could lead into things, but you could talk at gas prices and be like, man, these gas prices are getting pretty high. Leave it at that. Even plant the seed in that kind of way. But it's still just, I think it's so extremely pointless and such a symbol of maturity for when you can effectively talk to someone at their level and discern whether or not they are even ready to hear something that you might know that they don't know. Vice versa. I mean, you can learn from anyone. You absolutely can learn from anyone. And trying to find the ways that you can learn from the people that you might think are not as far and advanced as you are is another sign and symbol of maturity. Something that I have grown to understand even more over the past couple of years is that when you really believe something, you don't have to force it on anyone else. You don't have to shout it at anyone else. You don't have to have anyone else believe what you believe. You don't need it because you believe it. It seems like the people that are shouting the loudest and being so forceful, wanting people to believe what they believe, are the people that don't actually have faith or don't actually believe in what they believe. I am finding it so much more in myself that the deeper I go into things, the deeper I dive into understanding big pictures of the universe and the world and Yahweh and God and, all of that, the less I want to talk about it. Because it is so real to me. The things that I receive out of nowhere sometimes, like spiritual download type of thing. And the things that I learned from just being outside in nature or being around other people, the lessons that I learned from just watching people, and just the connecting of God with spirituality, even the Bible and biblical teachings of spirituality, and everything just is starting to make so much more sense to me. And it's funny because the more and the deeper things get for me, the less I want to talk about it, and the more gentle I am with my approach in talking about things, which is one reason my t-shirt line has been fantastic, just for the fact that I can say what I want to say without people really knowing what I'm saying. It's like that seed planting that I've always talked about. It just feels so pointless it is so pointless to introduce new ideas and new concepts to people when they're not ready for them. You literally are just letting your revelation and the things that you have grown into learning, whatever, just completely fall on deaf ears because they're not ready for it. And it actually can cause more chaos and harm in them and in you for saying something that people are not ready to hear. Because it can tear relationships apart. It can cause you to not trust in yourself and what you believe and have found out. And it can cause confusion for the person that isn't fully understanding what you're saying. There's a verse in the Bible that basically relates to what I'm talking about, and I really could not quote it, but it makes me think that God essentially gives things and gives understanding to people that he can trust, and gives information to people and knowledge to people that he knows are not going to use it as a look at me kind of tool. Because it's all about heart intention. And it's like, are you really trying to learn new things and discover new things for the sake of actually learning and knowing and understanding what is actually truth and true? Or are you using it as a tool to say, look at me, look how great I am? Because those are two very different energies. And those are two very different heart positions. And to me, I feel like God, essentially, universe God, gives the people that are on the quest for truth things that he doesn't give the people that are looking to promote themselves and let their ego type of thing and their pride come out. Because he's looking for the ones that he can trust, and he can trust that they will understand when it is the time to release it into the earth. I mean, that's essentially what prophets are, or people that are psychic and whatnot. I feel like the best prophets and the best psychic people are the ones that understand that some information should be withheld, in the sense of it causing more harm than good, even if it is something good. Something I've also learned about evil or the devil or whatever you want to call it is that the evil side essentially always does stuff before the right timing, and therefore it causes chaos and destruction. They always try to do things before they are naturally set and the world is ready for them to happen, because it causes chaos and destruction. So just think about that next time you are frustrated because someone isn't understanding your point, or thinking the same way you do about certain things. It's just not their time. They're not ready for it yet. It's not to say that they won't be, but we have something to learn from everybody. So instead of being frustrated that you can't teach them something, maybe it's your opportunity to learn from them. And humble yourself, quiet your ego, quiet your pride, and find something that you can learn from them. Take the focus off of you and put it onto them. And I believe that that's a way that we can move forward in this world and move past a lot of the programming. With great power comes great responsibility. Uncle Ben said it best. So yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And if you're in Tennessee, enjoy this warm weather before we have snow tomorrow. Love it. All right, bye.